Quick behind-the-scenes story. I was going to do this episode back in November of 2017, but the audio recordings broke beyond repair and I lost complete motivation for this project. Better late than never, right? Welcome to The Critique, where we watch some animated goodies and determine whether we should tune in or tune out. I'm Song, your resident cartoon connoisseur, and this is Star versus the Forces of Evil. Star is an animated adventure show airing on Disney XD, created by Darren Nefsey, the first female creator for the channel. It began its run on March 30th, 2015, and as of this recording they have just ended the third season and have already revealed a few details about the fourth. The program received critical praise, and the first episode became the most watched animated debut of Disney XD's history. But did it live up to that pressure? Let's find out. Alright, this is what I've been looking for. A catchy tune, fun but relevant lyrics, a fast-paced sequence. I honestly think that this is the perfect theme for this show. It does its job very well, straight up just telling you it's gonna get a little weird, it's gonna get a little wild. Those are literally the first lines of the song. The bouncy, chiptune music makes the whole thing whimsical and fun, and this is one of those songs that not only are the lyrics catchy and easy to get stuck in my head, but so is the instrumental track behind it. It really stays with me. As for the visual sequence, both incarnations of the title credits include the main protagonist hopping between the different dimensions, showcasing the many characters and locales of the show. Of course, in the Season 3 intro, it has more of a story significance, which makes more and more sense as the show goes on, which is something I greatly appreciate. Titles with Easter eggs, but not spoilers. As for the ending themes, Season 1 and 2 has Star singing about how much fun she's having on Earth, while her magical buddies join her on a walk along the street. It's pretty simple, but it's effective in showing her personality. The Season 3 outro feels more important, though it's actually even simpler, just showing Star on a tower facing a view of Muni while a song about Star herself plays, Shining Star, performed by Agnes Shin. I preferred this song over the last, mostly because it feels like a progression, if that makes sense. Though I might just be looking much too far into an ending theme. Star versus the Forces of Evil starts off about Princess Star Butterfly of Muni getting a magical wand for her 14th birthday. This wand has been passed down her family line for generations, and as heir to the throne, it is now her turn to wield it. However, after nearly blowing up the kingdom within a day, she is sent to a dimension with no magic to figure out how to magic better. Look, it sounds better in context, though it doesn't make much more sense. She's hosted by Marco Diaz and his family, and together Star and Marco go on crazy magical interdimensional adventures while also putting an end to the forces of evil that conspire against them. At least, that's how it all starts. At first, it seems all formulaic, but partway through the second season, you start to see that everything up to that point was connecting together without you even realizing, leading up to a grand overarching plotline that honestly keeps me wanting more after every episode. I'm perfectly fine with a good formula, but when a show has an interesting story underneath, it tends to keep me engaged. Not to mention, this world and its infinite dimensions has a crazy amount of lore behind it, and I really think this is some of the best world building among currently running cartoons. It makes me want to learn more and more, even if it's not related to the main characters and adventures, and you know what? We get episodes, however unrelated, that teach you about those unrelated but fascinating things. It's great. The problem is that once the second season got into the bulk of the plot, any of the formulaic episodes just seemed like useless filler, even if they weren't. Luckily, every episode in Season 3 serves well in driving the plot forward, and it is the best the show has ever had.
I'm a magical princess from another dimension.
The show follows mostly Star Butterfly and her best friend Marco Diaz as they go on adventures. Star starts off as a very hyperactive princess wanting to solve everything with magic just because she can. She is the embodiment of fish out of water for a good while, trying to figure out Earth while also breaking probably every rule set by her parents. However, her rebellious nature gets her into trouble and she eventually learns how to take responsibility, and I love seeing how she noticeably changes throughout the show. Season 1 Star is naive and reckless, while Season 3 Star is still herself, but more rational and responsible. Marco starts off as a bit of a wimp, though not physically as he studies karate and honestly could probably be a black belt by now. He's very cautious and insecure, but eventually he gains more confidence and starts taking more risks, another character that you can actually track their growth. As for the side characters, I actually love them all. Even when they introduce new people, it's always with purpose. The most reoccurring character is Princess Flying Ponyhead, a sassy unicorn head obsessed with club life and revelry. At first she was kind of annoying, always a bad influence on Star, but while her personality never really changes, the show finds more of a place for her that works really well, and now her presence adds more to character development. I also love Jana, an occult enthusiast at Marco's school that ends up being really close friends with Star. She's weird, but she's also really interesting and somewhat unpredictable. Tom, Star's ex-boyfriend, is also pretty great, and I love his interactions with Marco specifically, though I won't give anything away. Of course, we would only have half the show if we didn't include the forces of evil. The show introduces Ludo as the main villain at first, and I always thought he was pretty entertaining. He starts off as a typical comedic villain who can't get anything done and always blames the dumb henchman, but he eventually starts getting serious, and you can see how he built his little kingdom in the first place. And every other villain is spoilers, so watch the show. Just know that they get better and better. Alright, let's get the negatives out of the way first. The animation itself is a little rough at times. It's only a big deal if you are really looking for it, but the movements can get a little too simple and it borderline looks like Flash sometimes. That said, any action scenes look great and the presentation overall is very vibrant. Of course, the animation really shines when the characters start hopping through dimensions. Each world feels very distinct from each other, which is actually helped by the fact that the music feels distinct from each world too. You can tell when you are on Muni with all its pastels versus Earth with its more bold design. The visual effects are beautiful and show up at the right times, and the songs within the show, which does happen from time to time, are always timed well and have meaning within the context. The voice acting is spot on too, with popular VAs such as Alan Tudyk as Ludo and Jenny Slate as Ponyhead. Even Eden Scher's very first voice acting role as Star Butterfly herself is fantastic, and I can't imagine any other voice on her. This program is presented incredibly well, and it makes it such a joy to watch. Overall, Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one of my favorite shows, and I really hope you can see why. It's hilarious and actually pretty innovative, striving to break cliches, and the ones they do fall into are done well. Of course, it does take a bit to pick up, and Star can be seen as a bit annoying at first, so for these reasons, I recommend tuning in to Star vs. the Forces of Evil. But hey, that's just me. What do you think about the show? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't be afraid to give me suggestions on what I should watch next. If you like this video, please leave a like and help me get to 100 subs by subscribing and sharing with your friends. I am so close, you guys, and I'm hoping that I can get there soon. Please follow my social media to keep up to date on videos and events. I have a Twitter and Instagram, and I'm starting up a new Stardust page so that I can review shows and movies that won't necessarily make it to the channel, though they might someday. Now, I'm gonna have a good time today, and I hope you do too. Thanks for watching.